How does one go about making modifications in the future? Attorney Stephen Bliss says, with regards to a trust, as long as you keep it revocable, you can change it any time that you want to by executing an amendment to the trust which should be notarized. Generally, the items that get changed in the trust most often are who is going to receive the assets and when they are going to receive them, or who is going to be the successor trustee when you die. For example, initially, because your kids were so young, you set it up for them to get the money when they attain age 35. But now, many years later, you realize your kids are quite responsible and can get the money now if you were to die tomorrow. So you can execute an amendment that changes those provisions to state that. The other thing people generally want to change in the trust is who the trustee is. That is the person that is going to manage the money and the assets after you are gone. A lot of times, parents will have their family members or their best friend act as the trustee while the kids are young. And then, when the kids are old enough, the parents amend the trust and make the kids the trustee so that they do not have to deal with any outside parties in administering the estate. These are the kinds of things that people will normally modify in a revocable living trust. In a will, generally it is something very similar, either changing who gets the money or who is the executor of the will. If you have a revocable trust, then the number one thing that the people usually change is who are the guardians, because over a period of 10 to 15 years, when your kids are young, you think about having certain people, like your parents, be the guardians, but 10 or 15 years later, maybe your parents are a little bit older, and you decide you want your brother or your sister or your best friend to be the guardian. These are the things that you will change in the will. In terms of assisting people with this, as an attorney, I assist my clients with making changes to their documents. In terms of, can you change a portion of your documents? The answer is that you can change anything you want, anytime you want, any way you want, because your documents are always revocable. You can change one item in your will and leave the rest alone. If you do that, it's called a codicil. A lot of times people would just want to write a whole new will and just revoke the old will. You can do the same in a trust, and that is called a trust amendment. What the amendment says basically is that this is my trust, and it says all of the stuff I want, and I just want to change this one particular provision that used to say this, and now it says this. You sign and notarize the amendment, and it is valid, and it just modifies whatever provision in the trust that you wanted to change. For a free consultation, call Attorney Stephen Bliss at 858-228-4433 or visit his website at www.steveBlissLaw.com.